This week has been one of the most unpleasant weeks when it comes to Manchester United as far as injuries are concerned. But as the Englishman says, a bad beginning makes a good ending. We started this week on a bad note, but at least we are having some huge news coming in from the training ground of Man United today, and I think the pressure was so much onto the media team at the club of Man United as far as the injuries that were hinted on by the respective medias of Manchester United, that Rasmus Hojlund, Reguilon and Amrabat, Reguilon, Casemiro are really injured. And an update has been issued by the media team of Man United about what injuries are really available and those that aren't available on the day. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokan David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's a Thursday and let's start it off with an update that's going to coming through from the club of Manchester United as far as the players that took part in training were concerned. Now, they told us that training update from Carrington, Manchester United's squad was reunited at Carrington on Thursday following the international break. A number of our players were in action for their countries in the wake of the dramatic 2-1 win over Brentford in our last Premier League outing. Reguilon and Reguilon and Amrabat were among those spotted in the group by our official photographers. Reguilon has missed the last 4 matches with a minor injury, while Amrabat was absent from Morocco's games against Liberia and Ivory Coast. That is it. Their presence in training is a boost for the Reds manager Erik ten Hag ahead of the Premier League game against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, that is on Saturday. So let's first discuss Reguilon and Reguilon and Reguilon Amrabat. These are the most important returnees because we obviously needed Reguilon to obviously balance out that back line, not in the defensive side again, but in the offensive side, because most of that 2 of the 3 games they're going to play in the next week are obviously going to be in our favor to obviously create more chances, as the problem of Man United has always been really creating lots of chances in the final third. You'll obviously understand why Reguilon's return is obviously very important, because you know how he surges in the final third of the pitch and the crosses puts in through, and his intricate passing, line-breaking passes that he puts out in the final third of the pitch. That's why his return is obviously very, very, very important. And I think we are for the first time going to see a United side playing with a left back, because we last played with a left back in the game of Burnley. That is it. In the game of Burnley. The 2 games against Crystal Palace, it was obviously Amrabat playing on the left back. Then when we played Galatasaray, it was, I think, Lindelof playing on the left back. Then as we played Brentford, it was Lindelof again that was played onto that side. So it shows you exactly that we are a team that really lacks a lot of depth as far as the left back is concerned, because when you look at Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia, they are long-term injuries. So that is the shocking bit of it. So we look like for the very first time in the previous 4 matches we're going to play, we are going to be having a left back into the team of Man United, that is Reguilon, to obviously balance up. So we welcome back Reguilon in the training of Man United, and I'm obviously going to come in through and show you how these trained and how they looked and which player took part into this training session. The other player to talk about is Reguilon and Amrabat. He never took part into the 2 games that Morocco really played against Liberia and Ivory Coast, and I was really shocked. And the first story came in through about his injury, and it was confirmed by the national team coach. But as it stands, it looks like it was what we call a move requested by Reguilon and Amrabat, to the national team of Morocco, that I can come and train with you, but I'm not going to be part of any of those fixtures because I want to consolidate my position at Man United such that my loan is made permanent in the May of 2024. Remember, there is a clause in his contract that if at all United doesn't make his loan permanent in the summer of 2024, then automatically a further additional here will be added onto Sofyan Amrabat on his contract at Fiorentina and return back to Fiorentina. So, and this is supposed to happen before May comes to an end. So, Sofyan Amrabat just wants to be really fit because he knows exactly what happened to players like Marcel Sabitzer. Sabitzer was a very good player, but injuries kept him out of the plan of Erik ten Hag. If Atolia had gone ahead to play very many games, would have gone ahead to stay in the plans of Erik ten Hag, but Ten Hag found it very, 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 very unbecoming to obviously sign him, yet he's an injury-prone player. And the knee injury obviously stopped him from obviously playing the club of Man United for a very long time. So I think that's what Sofyan Amrabat doesn't want to happen to him at the club of Man United. He's pushing to see to it that he gets the best out of the side of Manchester United and really push himself to the wire. And I think it was all agreed with the national team of Morocco that we're not going to obviously put him into this game such that he goes back and plays for a full month for Man United. Then when they're into the World Cup qualifiers, I think that's when Sofyan Amrabat will be ready to really feature for the side of Morocco. Though his national team coach Reguilon came out and confirmed us that they have players that can come in and obviously play into that position, but we all know that they miss this guy. So it's good to see it is going to hit to train at the club of Man United, as we've also gotten a story coming in from Manchester United about Casemiro. They've told us that, however, Casemiro was absent, having remained in Brazil on the club's advice to recover as swiftly as possible from a small issue picked up while playing for his country. He'll be unavailable for Saturday's game with the Blades, but he's expected back at Carrington early next week to resume training, although he's suspended for the UEFA Champions League encounter with Copenhagen at Old Trafford after being sent off in the defeat of Galatasaray. So that is Casemiro for you. And you remember when I was telling you the return of Sofyan Amrabat being important, I based it onto this line that has been dropped on the Manchester United website, that Sofyan Amrabat, right, is very important. His return is very important, because if Casemiro was out and Sofyan Amrabat was out too, do you know where would have gone to? It would have been one thing, that is Scott McTominay and Emerson Mount in the central midfield. That is really very, very, very disturbing, and that's the importance of getting in Sofyan Amrabat to come in through and obviously play into the stadium area of Manchester United. I really understand that some people were questioning the signing of Sofyan Amrabat. Now we know the importance of Sofyan Amrabat. And at least at Man United, we now have two players to compete for every position, though we are being disturbed by injuries. But the fact is, we are at least smiling all the way to the game of Sheffield, because at least we are having very many players return. For Casemiro being out, that means Sofyan Amrabat is going to be played in the stadium area, and either alongside Kobe Menu, because I've seen Kobe Menu train with the first team, and it looks like he's nearing his return to the first team of Manchester United. That is another huge boost for the club of Manchester United. As we go into face Copenhagen, when you're not having Casemiro, you need another busy body into that midfield. And I won't be shocked if at all Erik ten Hag goes in for Sofyan Amrabat and Kobe Menu in that midfield, because he wants energy. That's why we saw to it that we got Hannibal being played into the midfield area for the games of Burnley, Crystal Palace, and very many others, because Ten Hag knows exactly what has let us down all the time. What is going to let us down all the time? It's obviously nothing apart from another body to obviously track the runs of the number 6 of Manchester United, and that should be a number 8. Eriksson costed us very many games by this season because of his reluctant play. You know, the goal against Arsenal, the goals against Brighton, the goals against Bayern Munich. You understand? Crystal Palace, we considered very many goals because of not having another steady Eddie playing alongside Casemiro. Now, for Sofyan Amrabat, it's good that even Kobe Menu has been seen into the training photos of Manchester United. I'm going to bring to you live here onto the channel. Now, this is one of the most important bits that all of you need to know about Rasmus Hojlund. Having had a very unpleasant knock into his back by the defenders of San Marino, who have gone ahead, went ahead and obviously reply to him in a very unbecoming manner. The website of United has confirmed us that Rasmus Hojlund was also in training after the striker scored his thunderous finish in a Denmark's 2-1 win against San Marino on Tuesday. Obviously, he has been part of the training team. They've gone ahead to train very well. And for Rasmus Hojlund, it's really important to have him at the club of Man United because all what you need is him being fit. You need him to be available to take us to where we deserve to be, especially in games like this, you know? Erik ten Hag has always wanted a player like, or a striker like Rasmus Hojlund, and he's in. He comes in perfect form after scoring one and putting up an assist in the 2 games they played against San Marino and Belarus. In the game of Belarus, he put up an assist, and in the game of San Marino, he scored a worldie in the 42nd minute of the game. So he comes in through and is fired up to obviously take us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United. So the injury boasts are really great. Hojlund, Reguilon, Amrabat. That's really great for the club of Manchester United, and the team is fired up to take on the side of Sheffield. They've gone ahead to play on Saturday, and I think later I'm going to come up with a match preview about this beautiful tie of games. Now let's go into the footage as how these players really trained at Carrington. That is Ali Joffrey, Sofian Amrabat, and Rasmus Hojlund training with the club of Man United. That is Sergio Reguilon. Happiness is all over me when I obviously see him really play for the club of Manchester United, and I think I should start from where it all starts from. Anton Martial and Rafael Varane are really trained really well for the club of Man United, and it's really huge happiness for the club of Man United for Rafael Varane to obviously get back into this team of Manchester United. Anton Martial has tried to keep himself fit, and we want to see to it that he keeps fit throughout the season. Then Marcus Rashford, who scored a worldie against Italy, and Bruno Fernandes, who obviously went ahead to score some goals for Portugal and put up some good assists for Portugal, has also gone ahead to obviously train with the club of Manchester United. Andre Onana is also training with the club of Man United, and he was available today. You've seen this, Sofian Amrabat and Rasmus Hojlund obviously training with the club. Then Sergio Reguilon, left back for Man United, the only one that is obviously available to play for the club. And Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Menu, and Sofian Amrabat. And also Kobe Menu is really a very huge boost of the return as we obviously try to sharpen our season, as the midfield is where the games of football are lost and won. Guys, even if you're having a weak defense or a weak center forward, but when you're having a very good central midfield, it will obviously look hard for your opponents to break down your team. You know, you can easily attack with the midfield and obviously defend with the midfield, because the central axis of the pitch is where games of football are really won and lost. So Kobe Menu is also back, and it's really a very good factor to welcome him back. This is Erik ten Hag addressing his squad as they return from the international break. You see him very well. Then the Reds were back together after a recent internationals. Look at Scott McTominay. This is John Evans and very many other players coming in from the academy. Lindelof Victor coming in through to play for Man United. He's one of those players that are going to hate to hint onto a new contract at Manchester United to be discussed alongside Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Atail Bendier, very many people of Man United supporters are really pushing in for him to come in through and really start ahead of Andre Onana. And Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to hear your prayers. When Andre Onana does any stupid mistake again, Erik ten Hag is ready to obviously bench him. Then Diego Dallo and Shola Shoretire doing the needful for the club of Man United as they trained well at Carrington. For Diego Dallo, he's the only right back we're really having. You know, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to be out for a very long time. Then the squad of United warming up: Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Anton Martial, Harry Maguire, Diego Dallo. That's how they really warmed up for the first training session carried out ever since the international break really came to an end. And it's Thursday, and they're having one more training session tomorrow, and we can't wait for them to feature for the team of Man United. Alejandro Garnacho flying back from South America, though he never played any minute in the games they played against, I think, Peru and Venezuela, I think. So he obviously returns. Eriksson is available. Marcus Rashford is a variable and lightening in the and ultra lightening. Alejandro Garnacho smiling for the camera at Carrington. Then this is Hannibal, who had a very good spell for the Tunisia national team. He obviously played some good games for Tunisia, and I think he's really one of those players that you'll obviously want to not miss out on any tech for the club of Manchester United as far as it's concerned. And Tunisia had some games to play as friendlies, and they played against South Korea. And let me see, Hannibal played some minutes and was taken off. And then again, they played against Japan, and Hannibal. Where is he, Hannibal? When they're playing against South Korea, when they're playing against Japan, he never kicked a ball, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he was not even part of the bench. I don't know the reason as to why, but good to see him really train with the club of Man United again. Then we are having Hannibal and Benjamin McCarthy as they share a joke during the training session. It was really great and marvelous, and that is Anton Martial and Joe Higel, the forwards of Manchester United. Then after that, you see players of United obviously coming in through to obviously take on their mantle and do the needful for the club of Man United, doing what we call the Jaguars up, and Rasmus Hojlund is smiling all the way. That is him and the team of Manchester United doing the needful onto the day. So that is Man United for you, doing the needful, and hope you guys have gone ahead to watch every bit of this. And we go to the Sunshines at Carrington. You're seeing Hannibal, Scott McTominay, there is Harry Maguire, there is John Evans, and very many more doing the need for the club at the Carrington training ground. And that is Erik ten Hag looking on at the squad of Man United, and he's really ready to take on the side of Sheffield. So guys, your thoughts onto Casemiro out are welcome in the comment section below. He's still in Brazil, and he's not obviously going to come in through and obviously do the needful for the club until next week. Then Rasmus Hojlund, Sergio Reguilon, Kobe Menu, Amrabat boast. What do you make about it? Rokan David remains my name. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. See you in our next video. It's going to be the match preview, United versus Sheffield. Exactly 2 or 3 hours from now, it's obviously going to be dropping onto your screen, smartphones, laptops, and so on and so forth. I'm out.